Well, hello and welcome back to this week's episode here on the Rest of the Saga Classic Car Restoration YouTube channel. And as you can see, we're back at the Toylander. Toylander's getting quite a bit of attention at the minute, mainly because I'm really enjoying doing all the detail work on the body, and I'd really like to get the body finished up and move down to storage out of the way before I start doing metalwork, welding and so on, making the drivetrain and axles. So what I'm planning to do in this episode is show you what I've been doing between now and what you saw in the last episode. I think the last episode was number 12. I've added a few more details around the bodywork, and then I'm going to take you through making some of the metal details, body cappings, doing the line gaps as well down between the doors, and a few more bits and pieces as well. And all being well, halfway through this episode, a bonnet should have arrived, unless coronavirus has put paid to that as well. But this is officially a coronavirus-free YouTube channel, as I'm sure you'll all be very glad to hear. So let's get started, and we'll take you around the Toylander. So, since the last time, a few more painting wee bits and pieces. The hinges, these are for the bonnet. I realised these had to be silver, because if I take you over here, the hinges on my own Toylander, or my old Toylander, full-size Land Rover, are full-sized silver. So these are going to go on here roughly, and that is where the bonnet is going to be hinged from, like that. Probably put it around like that to hide that little bit of cream. So I've done the two of those. Those have been primed, colour-coded and lacquered. Coming around here then, I made these little brackets for the seat back to go back against, and it goes back like that. And I've painted those and painted the little screws as well for those, just to camouflage them in out of the way. Other thing you'll notice is I've added rear lamps. These are actually reflectors, proper Land Rover parts, so it's quite nice. Both the rear lamps and the headlights are actual Land Rover parts. So these, I haven't put lights in. I know you can, but wasn't really sure how I was going to hide the wiring tidily. I can always add it in later, but I thought this is quite a neat solution in the meantime. Further jobs I'm going to do in this episode: make a blanking plate for this PTO cover, and another one for that gap down there. I have a little plan for that. I'm also going to screw in these vent covers here with the little honeycomb stuff that I have bought for that purpose. But let's come around here and I'll show you what I've been doing just to start off with. So, within the plans themselves, they give you templates for cutting out. These are the body capping. I'm not really sure what the exact term is, but little body cap corner pieces. So that's going to go there, and then there's another little half one goes in here. And there's another one there, and the same as the other side. So obviously paper, it's going to be very difficult to get it to mark round. The template is full sized, so I got a serial packet here. I glued the template onto the serial packet using the MG Owner Club parts catalogue to make sure I didn't cut a hole in anything. So Weetabix in the back, and now I have a nice template. So this is a little hinge plate. As you might be able to see, I have scored it out on the panel here, and that's going to be one. So making a little bit of progress there. So now I'm going to cut this out. Well, I'll probably mark a few more out. I have to make 4 of these, obviously 2 hinges for 2 doors, and get those cut out, and we'll see from there. And so moving a little bit further on, that's one hinge cut out there. This was slightly tricky actually. Getting that rounded corner to look half decent is surprisingly difficult. Also, I'm using a junior hacksaw, so my hacksaw blade doesn't cut the depth that, so that's a little bit annoying, but it's okay, we can get around that. So one hinge is cut out, needing to cut out another 3 of those. As you can see, I've also been cutting out some more, and that has been these little single, I'm calling them the single angles. There's also these 2 double angles which go on the corners of the rear tub, but these go in the front of the rear tub and just beside the tailgate. Other than that, you'll see this little bit of flat bar, and I'll bring the camera around here, and that's where that is. As I mentioned to you, this is just to reflect the continuation of the sort of galvanized stripping as you would have in the full-size Land Rover. I think to give you a bit of continuity, I might get some more flat bar just along the inside here. I'm trying not to overdo it and make it look tacky, but at the same time I want it to make sense. If it doesn't look right, I'll just take that off. Also wondering whether I should paint these two panels here black. Give me your thoughts on that, please, because they are seats at the end of the day, so it might make more sense if they're black, but let me know, sure, in the comments below. You'll also notice I have one of the single angles stuck on here. I've nearly finished the last one, and I've got this one here on. Now, this one slightly different because this angle here is not 90 degrees, because remember the panel gap is at 5 degrees off the vertical, so this is probably, what, 95 degrees by my reckoning, so that required a little bit of extra working out, but it's starting to look quite smart. So 2 hinges to go on here, this double angle to go on at the back, and then this side will be finished. I really want to tidy up those panel gaps. I made a bit of a horlicks of that, and I want to work out how to do it properly. And then that's the sort of metal detailing bits done, and after that it'll be onto the windscreen. So let's make a few more metal bits, get them screwed and tied on. So this is the little corner piece here in the vise, and I'm noticing that this aluminium here that I just bought as a sheet, as you saw at the start of the video, is actually a bit more difficult to get through than the little aluminium angle pieces I had prior. As you can see, it's nearly melting whenever I do the countersink, and then find it forming this little mound around the hole. So I just have to let it cool and then go at it again. Don't really know why that is. It's not actually any thicker. This is 1.5 mil, whereas this is 1.6 mil. And I doubt that 0.1, well, of course it's thinner, so it should go through easier. So it must just be a harder metal, but there you go. And here we have a finished single corner piece. As you can see, this just does not drill or countersink as nicely as the other stuff. But I've also taken a sandpaper to it, really, because it gets marked in the vise, which would look a bit ugly, and it also gets marked by the file and so on when I try and file off the little mounded edge. As you can see, that wouldn't look nice, so I've sanded it off a bit. And I think it looks actually a bit more like proper galvanized steel when it's like that. So I've started to make my way around the edges and just roughen them up a bit. At the end of the day, they are going to get marked in use, so a little bit of sanding I think won't do it any harm. This single piece here, of course, goes on just like that, and I'll drill those little holes. Yeah, it's not quite in line, but I don't think it's going to be particularly noticeable, and start hacking into it to make it absolutely perfect. I'm not sure it's going to look 100%. So at the end of the day, Land Rovers weren't 100% correct, and I am trying to make it look as good as I can, but mark those holes and get the little screws in. So I've just put a little marker here with insulation tape on the end of the drill to make sure the drill doesn't go through the sides of the Toylander. The Toylander ply is of course 12 mil thick, so I'm using this little marker to make sure the drill bit doesn't go all the way through the other side, which would be very annoying and would cause a bit of a headache of having to fill and paint it over. Little hinter tip. So apologies for the central heating boiler going in the background, but for some reason the camera didn't record. I managed to get that little single corner of piece attached there, and also in the meantime I've put this little double corner on as well. I'm also in the middle of making the second double corner for over here, and this is it here in the vise. I've marked out the holes and I've got a center line for bending. So next job is to countersink these holes, brush it over with the sandpaper, and then, well, probably bend it and then brush it over with the sandpaper, and we'll go from there and get it attached. Bodywork's really starting to come on here. What do you think? And here we have one 90-degree bend in the aluminium. Just clamped it in the vise and bent it over. You can see my little marks on there, and I've filed sort of the mounded up aluminium. I'm sure there's a proper name for it. It really does go quite hot with the drill on the countersink, but anyway. So now I'm just going to make sure those holes are wide enough for the screws, and then I'm going to use the sandpaper just to take the shine off this as well. Just a quick half and half showing you the sanded side and the unsanded side. I think it really does make quite the difference, although this bit is quite badly scratched, so it's going to require a wee bit more of a tidy up than the other bits have. But let's see what it's like when it's done. And there you have the last double corner attached onto the bodywork. So that's all the corner pieces done, two on this side, round the back and round the other side. Still have to paint the panel gaps in here and make the 4 hinges. Those require quite a bit of cutting and filing, but my son is now asleep above the garage, so I don't think I can do any more of that. But what I will do is cut out another template for the little, they call it an escutcheon, or I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but it's the little sort of reinforcement plaque around the starting handle. So I'll get that made and go from there. I also plan, as I said at the start, making little blanking plates for in the PTO output holes, and I'm going to do that with the leftover bit of 4mm ply that was used in the making of the tailgate. Actually, forgot there for a minute what it was for. So I have a little bit of it left, so I'll cut that down to size for there and get it painted up. Another thing to tell you is this front grille. Now, I sort of ignored the instructions. The front grille does say that you shouldn't put it on until the very last thing. I really wanted to see what it was like on, so I put it on. But what I have bought is stainless steel split pins, because that's sort of how it's held on. You'll see the little loop of the split pin there, and that's it splayed over here. So I bought stainless steel split pins, because as you know, everything else in the Toylander that I could manage to get in stainless steel is stainless steel. I'm also going to use a little silver touch-up pen to colour over the top of these screw heads. They're exposed and they're a bit of an eyesore. So I'll colour those over just so they're less noticeable. So there you go, making quite a bit of progress. Also need to put these grille covers in, I keep forgetting. So let me know what you think about these back seats, whether I should paint them black or not. I'm happy for opinions on that. And I might also continue this around the inside to make it look like a U channel, but I couldn't find the correct size of U channel. So there you go, one step at a time, really getting there. One last little thing to mention here just before I sign off this video. As I mentioned a few weeks ago, I did not appreciate the fact that the wood split here. So I've put a little countersunk screw through here with a nut on the end, and the same on this side just to try and hold that all together. That's an M3.5 screw. And that's just a little stainless one here. So just to try and reinforce that, because I really don't want the rear cross member falling apart. That would be a pretty major problem if that were to happen.
So once again, I hope you've enjoyed this week's video here on the Rescue Saga Classic Car Restoration YouTube channel. I know we're focusing quite heavily on the Toylander at the minute, but as I'm sure you understand, in the time that this video has been made, events worldwide have changed quite significantly, and that has impacted on my job too. So probably going to be doing a bit more Toylander stuff in the weeks to come. But once again, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and as you all know, I reply to all of my comments, and I'll see you again next week. All the best.